Middle of August, middle of summer, kids are going back to school. So in this video, back to school stuff. Let's go. Hello everyone, how are you? This is yours truly, Tech Gear Guy, and this video is being shot middle of August. Actually, it's August 16th today, and this is take 2, by the way, because take 1, for some reason, I had it on manual focus and basically my video was useless. So I'm shooting this for the second time, which is a little weird. But here we go. So you know, it's the middle of August, which means summer break is over and kids are going back to school. A lot of tech YouTube channels have done the back to school tech guide and stuff like that. Now here's the deal. I actually am a parent of a couple kids, and my firstborn, the boy, is actually starting his freshman year at USC. And he'll be leaving home next week to his dorm to start his freshman year. And my daughter is gonna start her senior year at high school. So a couple years ago, I got both of them the Dell laptop Inspiron series, which I'll link right here. And that laptop has served them well, both of them, last couple of years. But with the boy going into college, I am giving him something new that he could use for his first couple of years at least. I figure, you know, at least until the end of a sophomore year, possibly somewhere in the middle of a junior year. And because of the fact that, you know, in college, you're moving from lecture hall to lecture hall and to the dorm, to friend's place, library, the laptop's going to be in and out of the backpack and being thrown around here and there. So I'm basically looking for something with a solid build, like the unibody construction, and not something that has like a plasticky build or whatnot that could create some issues. So as a parent, I'm looking at something, you know, slightly different than what I would provide, you know, office worker or whatever. So this video is actually a little different than the usual videos that I put out, where I, you know, put certain gear like a laptop to its pace. I provide synthetic benchmarks and, you know, so on and so forth. But today I'm just sharing you my thoughts as a parent with a child going back to school or starting his freshman year at college. So that's what this video is about. So I'm not going to throw you some benchmarks or whatever. However, I'm just going to share you my perspective and how I ended up with this. So as you can see, what I am holding today is a 2019, it's a mid-2019 MacBook Pro. So this is relatively new, maybe been out for about a month with this refresh lineup. So basically the CPU is now quad core, like this one has an Intel's 8th generation Coffee Lake based i5 base clock of 1.9 gigahertz. I believe it bursts up to about 3.8 gigahertz or 3.9 gigahertz or something like that. And then, like I said, it's a bone stock, just entry model, $1299. However, I did spring another $200 to equip it with the 16 gigabytes of RAM LPDDR3. And that meant also the solid state storage on board is only 128 gigabytes. Rounding out the specs for this video, this does not have a discrete video card. It does have Intel's Iris Plus 645 driving the 13.3 inch display. And display itself is a glossy display, so the kid will struggle a little bit if he's using it outside in a bright sunlight. However, set that aside, the colors are popping. It's a gorgeous screen, very well done. And with the newest refresh, Apple is now providing the touch bar on the entry-level model as well. And with it being the entry model, Thunderbolt 3 ports, 2 of them are on the left hand side, and on the right hand side all you're getting is the audio jack. And if you're familiar with the videos that I put out, normally on personal gear I use D-brand skin to protect the particular equipment that I am going to use. So my son's computer is no exception. I have a D-brand skin on the trackpad as well as on the top cover. So why? Usually Apple products hold their resale value a lot better. Some PC products, they just hold no resale value, period. Whereas the Mac stuff would hold their value. So my thinking is, like I said earlier, the laptop's going to go from here and there and there and here, constantly in and out of the backpacks and such. So it's going to inevitably get some scratches and dings and whatnot. Not so much for the resale value this time, because after 2 years in college, I don't think this will be in cosmetically decent condition for resale. So I'm just basically trying to prolong the exterior's condition by having the skin on. So if you're watching this video and go, that doesn't look like Apple product, well, it is. It just I have a skin for protection. So in college, a lot of kids are using Apple MacBooks, like I show in this photo right here of a random lecture, random classroom. I've raised both of my kids to be somewhat of a non-conformist and not really follow the herd and be more, do things on their own and such. When my kid is in a classroom with this, he's just going to be one of the guys with the same damn laptop. But again, the reason why, as a parent, I am going with the MacBook Pro is of its solid build quality, as well as the perfect balance of performance and the exterior dimensions and weight. So this will not break his back in his backpack all day long. And in terms of performance, with the recent refresh of the laptop with the quad-core CPU and the integrated video card that can actually allow him to play occasional video game like League of Legends, which he still plays every now and then. So that meant I don't have to provide him with another computer for video gaming needs that's heavy and bulky and things like that. Inevitably, he will have to live somewhat of a dongle life, since the computer only has Thunderbolt 3 ports and only 2 of them. Now, internet is swirling with a rumor about Apple coming up with basically nuking the current 15-inch model to come out with the 16-inch model MacBook Pro in September of 2019, which is just next month. And with that, I'm also hearing that the keyboard will be finally changed, and this is the last edition of MacBook Pro that will sport this problematic butterfly keyboard. Now, I've personally gotten used to the butterfly keyboard, where the keyboard itself takes somewhat of a getting used to. There is not enough travel, and tactile feedback is somewhat lackluster if you ask me. I personally got used to it, but and also all the personal MacBook Pros that I've owned over the years with the butterfly keyboard, 1st gen, 2nd gen, and the 4th gen, I've personally never had any issues. All the ones that I've provided to my clients, none of them have broken down so far. However, there are thousands, if not more, cases of butterfly keyboard failing all over the world. And that also meant that Apple, right out of the gate, provides a free keyboard replacement program should you have one go bad on you. So it's going to be a welcome change with the next MacBook Pro. For this model that my son is getting, he's just going to have to deal with that, hopefully. Now, in terms of actual performance, all-day battery life is something that was important to me, so that the kid doesn't have to lug around a charger, 61-watt charger, by the way, that comes with the MacBook Pro. And surprisingly, the Intel Iris Plus 645 on board, even though it's an integrated video solution, it also still provides enough horsepower to edit 4K videos in Final Cut Pro. Not that he's going to be doing any sort of a video editing, but the pure sheer horsepower that the computer provides in terms of day-to-day computing is awesome, which means it will not limit him for the next couple of years, because you can, as a parent, you kind of need to think about in terms of scalability and how well the computer will still perform, you know, a couple years from today. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I opted for the base model $1299. I did spend another couple $100 to increase the RAM for just a sheer performance boost. And since this is not user serviceable, I had to get that. I had to pay the Apple tax to get the RAM already in there. Now that meant I had to settle for 128 gigabytes of a solid state storage, and that was the part. So the $200 I spent could have been spent on either the RAM upgrade or the storage upgrade, and I opted for the RAM upgrade because in terms of storage, a couple factors came into play. USC already provides all the incoming students with Google Drive and Google Apps and Gmail-based usc.edu email address. So basically everything is somewhat cloud-based. So the onboard storage was not as important, and should he need increase in the local storage department, could easily run out and get something like a Samsung T5, which is a USB-C based storage that writes at about 540 megabits per second. So that's a very easy upgrade. So it's portable, lightweight, perfect dimension, in and out of backpack, all day battery life, just beast of a performance for its price range. Now when I say that though, I do include Apple tax, where, you know, PC with the equivalent spec would cost a little less than what this thing costs, but based on, you know, Apple's price bracket, I say it's rather affordable. Along with the solid construction, this was a somewhat of an easy choice for me to make. And you know, kids, you know, who knows what they do, and having macOS 10 is a lot safer in my opinion than Windows 10 with the vulnerabilities and possibility of him doing something stupid that his IT father would not, you know, endorse, getting exposed to viruses and malware and ransomware and whatnot. And that's not to say the macOS 10 is, you know, immune to that sort of thing. However, you are decreasing the odds considerably by opting not to use Windows 10, even after Windows 10 is now, you know, rather match-rated and a solid platform, but you still have the you know, nagging PC issues that would come with that. So that's kind of how I ended up with the MacBook Pro for my child that is starting his freshman year at college. And just wanted to come on here real quick and share that with you, my thought process and just a rudimentary review chat about this laptop. So that wraps up this video. I appreciate your time watching. You've been awesome. I've been Tech Gear Guy. Until next time, take care everybody. Be good humans.